Here's a step-by-step explanation of how computers work, starting with how electricity is involved. 1. How electricity works in a computer. Power supply unit PSU. When you turn on a computer, electricity flows from the power source wall socket into computer through the PSU. The PSU converts alternating current AC from the wall into current DC that the computer components can use. Power distribution. The PSU distributes or require voltage and current to different parts of the computer like the motherboard, CPU, RAM, storage devices, and peripherals. This is what allows the hardware components to start functioning. 2. What's happen next? Boot and process BIOS UEFI initializations. The first thing that happens is the BIOS, basic input output system, or unified extensive firewire interface. Run a power on self-test or pushed. It checks if the hardware components, CPU, memory, keyboard, erase, etc. are connected and working. After checking BIOS, unified extensible firewire interface, load the operating system into memory from the low storage devices. Next, CPU start working. The central processing unit CPU, which is the brain of the computer, start processing instructions. It receives electrical signal binary data 0 and 1 that represents different command data. The CPU interprets these signals using transistor to switch on and off, performing operations like calculation, logical processing. Memory or RAM. Data and instruction are temporarily stored in random access memory or RAM, which is faster than storage devices. RAM holds the data the CPU is actively working with while the computer is on. Data flow. The CPU communicates with other hardware components via the motherboard, which has circuits like highways that carry electrical signals between components such as the CPU, memory, and storage. Storage devices. Data is stored permanently in hard drive or HDD or solid state drive SSD. When you run a program, the data is fetched from the storage into RAM where the CPU can access it for processing. Graphics and display. If you are using a graphical user interface GUI, the graphics processing unit GPU takes instructions from the CPU and converts them into visual data, which is the display on your screen. Like the CPU and GPU also use electricity functions, switching transistor on and off to process graphical data. Peripheral devices. Input device like keyboard, mouse, and output device like monitor, printer are connected to the computer, and their signals are processed by CPU and communicate through electrical signals via the motherboard. In summary, electricity powers the computer and is part of the computer's uses electrical signals to communicate and perform tasks controlled by the CPU and coordinate with other hardware and software components.